Rejection, I say, is like a spark, and burnout is the house fire if it goes unchecked. Tune into the previous episode if you want to hear some context that leads up to burnout. But over the past 3 years, as a part of the work that I was doing as an online marketer, doing outreach is like a full-time job.
The way you were doing it was a full-time grind.
So I felt, and this is a part of rejection leading to burnout, I felt a lot of isolation. It's a lonely game working for yourself. It very much felt like I was alone. What it looks like from the outside is that you're in the office and you're working and you're trying. But what it feels like on the inside, when the pressure's on from all angles, it looks like irritability, avoidance, and ultimate doom is just around the corner. And what that can lead to, like, for me, it was an honest low point, which was despair and even suicide ideation.
But in your case specifically, right, you were literally in a room by yourself doing all this outreach. And so the rejection, which was oftentimes silent, can feel just like this huge chasm of despair and loneliness.
Yeah. At the time, I didn't know that I was getting burned out and was, in fact, burned out. So I had to, through awareness, work my way out of it. And part of that was committing to not doing what was causing burnout, outreach, and taking a new direction. So I really do want to help people. And I think the first step in helping them is just awareness. This 3-dimensional burnout matrix.
Sure.
Her core claim is that burnout is a work-related psychological syndrome characterized by 3 dimensions that move together but do not always co-occur. And so the 3 dimensions are this: exhaustion, and that's energy depletion, like you're depleted and everything costs more than it should. The second dimension is cynicism, or depersonalization. That can look like mental distance, and people feel like problems. So the third dimension of burnout is reduced efficacy, reduced personal accomplishment. That is feeling ineffective, like I can't win, and my effort doesn't matter. Now, when I read that, I read myself in all of these 3 dimensions. Guts. That was me. So now I'm in that downward spiral where it's like, I'm ineffective and everything's just getting worse. How do you pull out of that? Serious question. Like, how does one pull out of that? One way to pull out of it is just to keep hurting yourself and drink, but it doesn't help. And again, you might have all 3, but usually one leads, and you don't have to have all 3. You might be exhausted and burned out. You might be cynical and burned out. You might not have reduced efficiency. That's why awareness is so important, just to look at these 3 things in your life. Before I really get into anything else that you might do, I just want to say that burnout is a system mismatch. You don't have to fix everything. You can just fix one thing. You might be working as a solo independent, or you might be working for another job for someone. Any job. Pick one thing and look at it, like your workload. Do you have too much demand put on you and not enough recovery? Do you always feel like you're behind? Your workload might be causing burnout. Or there's control. You can look at how much control do you have in the job that you do. You're responsible for outcomes you can't actually influence. Maybe you're not getting rewarded for your efforts. That can lead to resentment.
Yeah, being jaded. Yeah. And reward, that could just be acknowledgement of what you do.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be you get a plaque for going to
a parade.
The point of sharing those is for you to find if there's a mismatch. And if one is punching you in the face, you might want to just unpack it and see if it's causing exhaustion, cynicism, or ineffectiveness. Again, going unchecked, it could just ruin your life and ruin the life of everyone around you. As we've talked about in the last couple of episodes, the RAIN framework. Mentally, you can pause. You can run the framework real quickly. RAIN: recognize, accept, investigate, non-identify. And you can check out the last couple episodes where we talk more about what the RAIN method is and how to use it, or subscribe to the newsletter we send out information about it all there. It's on Substack.
Yeah, that'll be like in a text format that, you can just go back to and read. You can like print it off and have it right there.
Yeah, print it out, put it up by your desk and stuff.